Welcome once again as we focus on entrepreneurship, and this partnership is with the Industrial Development Corporation, who are supporting us to promote entrepreneurship in the country. And tonight we're going to focus on the youth. There is support from the Industrial Development Corporation. Several weeks ago, the IDC had a conference where they spoke to different youth formations as well as young entrepreneurs. And Stuart Bartlett is one of the people who are championing the cause of the youth. 4.5 billion rands funding that the IDC has, and we invited him to come and give us an update on the progress that's been made with this fund. Stuart, pleasure to catch up with you once again.
Thank you, Tim. Yes, you're right. We put aside 4.5 billion rand over a 5-year period for youth entrepreneurship. Last year, we did significantly better than the year before, with a fourfold increase to 970 million rand available to youth. This year we're hoping to exceed that. We're currently on 350 million rand, but we always know that a lot of projects are in the pipeline. And yes, the conference that we had earlier in the year, or in October, very big success. We had over 1,000 youth and members of the ecosystem that support youth entrepreneurship at the conference. And I think we met our objectives of talking to the youth, finding out what they need, what they want, and how best IDC can respond to their needs and hopes and aspirations. And secondly, I think it was very important that we talk to those members of the ecosystem. We always knew that we can't do everything as IDC. We have a particular niche role. But the important thing is that youth need a lot more than just a financer. And this is where it became very important in talking to the members of the ecosystem to see how we could collaborate with them to make sure that we have a quality pipeline of youth applications coming to IDC, and that those that are not really ready for meeting the conditions of IDC's funding, to actually, who do we refer them to, who can help them, who can put them into, so that we don't lose, and the youth don't lose hope in being funded, but rather let us help them to get their applications or their businesses panel beated to the right.
I want to find out then the quality of the pipeline that you're talking about. I mean, what types of applications are you getting from the youth?
Well, the reality is that youth will always migrate to those areas of the lowest obstacles, retail and service industry. And the unfortunate thing is IDC doesn't fund those businesses. Our focus is on manufacturing and on beneficiation. So it's a very different type of business that we're looking for.
But I want you to give me a couple of examples when you talk beneficiation in particular, but the manufacturing as well, but beneficiation in particular.
Well, just to finish that point, so what we're finding is a lot of the pipeline is probably out of our mandate. Getting to your point of what is beneficiation and what is the manufacturing side. The beneficiation is being part and parcel of a value chain, and IDC has 3 particular value chains that it pursues: the chemicals, the agriculture, the mining and metals, and so on. So in that value chain, we were looking for processing or taking from the raw, from the mine. Can we start making things with it, and it goes right down. So those are the type of things that IDC is currently focused on, although we do have what we call high impact priority areas for other transactions. So it's not all about value chains. However, it's still, there is a focus on manufacturing to a large extent.
Now, Stuart, I want us to recap a little bit and look at the age group that we're talking about when we say youth, and the size and types of loans that are available from the IDC.
Well, the IDC considers youth anybody under their 36th birthday. And we have specially bespoke developed products for the youth. One of them, the Grow E Youth Scheme, provides financing at very competitive rates to youth. In fact, if the company is 51% and more owned by youth, we can go as low as prime -3. And between 20 26% and 51% prime minus 2. So we're really making sure that we appeal to the youth and by offering very competitive pricing. The other product that we have more recently, and that's a youth pipeline development program, which provides support to youth entrepreneurs to actually prepare themselves to come to IDC. In other words, the pre-investment support that we offer them, the support that we provide them to meet certain conditions that IDC might put in place, and then obviously the post-investment, how do we assist them to become successful businesses post getting the money from IDC. So we have those in place, and we have a particular focus on making sure that we will never reduce our the criteria in terms of what we expect. We expect a good business plan, we expect a good business that is sustainable, and that is non-negotiable. However, we will assist where possible. IDC has provided specific and specialist youth specialists to help us with making sure that we talk directly to the youth and are able to help the youth applicants where possible.
And the size of loans?
The loans, generally IDC starts at 1 million rand and basically upwards. So generally 1 million rand is under certain circumstances we might consider slightly less, but we also must realize that we're in part and parcel of a bigger system where CFA is a subsidiary of IDC, and they provide money up to 5 million rand. So we don't want to necessarily compete with each other. We focus on what each one does best.
From your experience, what do you think might be the challenges that many young people face when they want to apply for funding or for support? Because we've heard many times they say access to loans is a problem, but it actually goes beyond that. I suspect that there are other challenges that they need to overcome or at least deal with before approaching institutions such as IDC.
Well, I think youth are by their very nature at a bit of a disadvantage because they haven't got the experience, they haven't got the networks, probably access to certain information. They probably don't have access to many times to markets. So that is the type of obstacles they will face. But I think the nature of youth, again, is that they are extremely creative and innovative. And I think that is the advantage we need to tap onto. Now, we also do find that youth come with great ideas, very interesting and innovative ideas. Very often they're targeting a gap in the market. But very often the market is not in that gap. Okay. And that's where the challenge lies. It's about, this business has to be sustainable. Yes. So it's not just about making a niche. Is there a market in there to make it a sustainable business?
I understand. Yeah. Well, I mean, what you mean is that you find the idea is brilliant, but not relevant. If
Absolutely.
One can put it as coldly as that.
Correct. Right? There has to be that market to actually take it, to actually provide you the sales or the type of revenues you require to run a successful business.
The loans are still there. Beneficiation, chemicals, manufacturing, as you said.
Yes.
So, what are the steps to take?
Tourism, movies, agriculture, agro-processing, almost all sectors except retail and services are there, and IDC is really, I mean, we're open to business. We've already, as mentioned right in the beginning of the interview, that we have put aside 4.5 billion rand over 5 years. Yes. That's a significant amount of money, and that is just a target. We're not saying that is how much we will make available to youth. If we could go beyond that 4.5, IDC will.
Now, here's another point, and I think we have not stressed this one, is that the very youth can partner with established people anyway, and you still look at their applications. Absolutely.
Very often that is a way in which the youth are able to bring in the skills and expertise and manage their own risk and obviously the risk of the financier. But we would also like youth to start taking an active role in those businesses, not only as by virtue of them being youth. We want them to actually play a role, to play a management role, to get the experience and then become the entrepreneurs of the future and the industrialists of the future.
Stuart, thank you very much. Much appreciated. And I think the message that we are sharing with you tonight is that the structure of the economy has changed, the nature of work has changed, and in modern times, if you are a young person, you've got to think about creating your own job, so to speak, and the best way is to start your own business. And the good thing is that you have funding agencies such as the Industrial Development Corporation who are very keen to support you, provided you prefer or you move into the areas that Stuart has just outlined for us. So good luck to you. We wish you everything of the best and happy festive season. Let's see you in the new year. IDC is open for business. Approach them for support.